Hello, everybody. I'm BC Begley, and these are your news headlines for September 20th, 2022. Hurricane Fiona strengthens to a Category 3 storm as it moves from Puerto Rico to other islands. At least 2 are dead from the first major hurricane of this year's Atlantic hurricane season, as it brings rain and flash floods to the northernmost Caribbean islands. Hurricane Fiona strengthened to a Category 3 storm on Tuesday after it was done battering Puerto Rico and knocking out most of its power. Fiona is the latest hurricane to devastate the island as it continued to strengthen on its way north through the Caribbean. Texas sheriff investigating DeSantis' role in flying migrants to Martha's Vineyard. A Texas sheriff on Monday opened an investigation into the legality of Governor Ron DeSantis' recent move to fly dozens of mostly Venezuelan migrants to Martha's Vineyard. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar, who is an elected Democrat, said that while he could not cite specific laws that may have been broken by relocating the migrants, his office will still be investigating. It's what he called, quote, an abuse of human rights. Trump team resists special master's request to explain declassification of Mar-a-Lago documents. Former President Trump's legal team on Monday night resisted a request to elaborate on his claims around declassifying the documents recovered last month from his Mar-a-Lago home. In a filing to the court-appointed special master that Trump requested, his attorney said the time and place for making such a disclosure would come in a motion in a criminal trial as an effort to recover his property. Illinois man found dead the morning after asking a group of people to be quieter. An Illinois man was found dead the morning after he asked a group of people who gathered along Lake Michigan to keep the noise down, police said. The group of people were gathered at the Fort Sheridan Forest Preserve along the shoreline after midnight on Saturday, September 17th, when a 45-year-old man who lived in the preserve went outside around 1 a.m. to ask the individuals to be quieter. A violent fight then broke out between the man and 2 other people who are aged 18 and 20. The 18 and 20-year-old men were also injured in the fight and hospitalized. However, none of their identities have been released. NASA's Mars lander captures strikes by 4 incoming space rocks. A NASA lander on Mars has captured the vibrations and sounds of 4 meteorites striking the planet's surface. Scientists reported Monday that Mars InSight detected seismic and acoustic waves from a series of impacts in 2020 and 2021. A satellite orbiting the red planet confirmed the impact locations as far as 180 miles from the lander. World leaders gather at a time of great peril at the United Nations. The UN gang is finally getting back together in person after 3 years of leaders speaking by video due to the global pandemic. But many leaders from the 193 United Nations member countries were in the United Kingdom for the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II on Monday, forcing their missions to the UN to scramble to reschedule speeches and rendezvous. Mexico earthquake. Another 5.8 earthquake jolts Michoacan as death toll rises. An earthquake of magnitude 5.8 struck the Michoacan region in Mexico on Tuesday, a day after 2 people were killed in another powerful earthquake. Monday's earthquake measured at a magnitude of 7.6 and struck on the anniversary of 2 previous earthquakes that caused enormous damage and killed hundreds or thousands of people in 1985 and in 2017. The tsunami alert, which was issued immediately after the earthquake, was revised later in the day. Occupied regions announce votes to join Russia in the wake of Ukrainian advances. Kremlin-controlled areas of southern and eastern Ukraine announced Tuesday they would stage votes this week on formally joining Russia, moves that were cheered in Moscow and dismissed by Kiev as a desperate attempt to stem the tide of a successful counteroffensive by Ukrainian forces. Myanmar army helicopters fire on a school, killing 6. At least 6 children were killed and 17 others wounded when army helicopters shot at a school in Myanmar, media reports. The resident said on Monday, as the military said it opened fire because rebels were using the building to attack its forces. Myanmar's military junta on Tuesday admitted striking the school in the central region. but rejected the accusations made by the country's pro-democracy shadow government, known as the National Unity Government, that it had killed children during the strike last Friday. Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau slammed for singing rock song during Queen's mourning period. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was slammed Monday for singing Bohemian Rhapsody while in London for Queen Elizabeth II's funeral services. According to the New York Post, Trudeau joined Quebec pianist Gregory Charles and other members of the Canadian delegation at a central London hotel Saturday night, where Charles broke into what he called a homage to some famous United Kingdom songs. Trudeau joined in the singing the famous rock song by the band fittingly named Queen. And Turkey's Erdogan tells United States Jewish leaders that he plans to visit Israel. Turkish President Erdogan told a group of Jewish leaders on Monday in New York City that he plans to visit Israel, another sign that he is intent on resetting a long-troubled relationship. Erdogan also told a room full of leaders of American Jewish organizations that anti-Semitism is, quote, a crime against humanity, a meeting participant told the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. And those are your news headlines for September 20th, 2022.